You ever take a road so many times it feels like muscle memory? That was me because I was cutting across empty farmland just before midnight. I knew every fence post and I knew every turn, even though the road had no lights and nowhere to stop, just fields and silence that stretched forever. Then I saw it because a van was jammed deep into the ditch and its front end was crumpled like paper. The hazard lights pulsed dimly in orange and slow, like a dying heartbeat. I hesitated, but part of me whispered, "Keep going," and guilt is a loud voice. So I pulled over and I angled my headlights toward it. I rolled the window halfway down and I called out, "Hello." My voice sounded a little too sharp. Nothing. I honked, but still nothing. That silence felt heavier than it should have. I killed the engine and I got out. Not sure why, but I just did. My phone became my flashlight and my nerves were taut like piano wires. I crept closer and the van's front doors gaped wide. Airbags had burst and the windshield was shattered, but there was no driver. There was no signs of life, just emptiness that buzzed with wrongness. Then I heard it because something crunched behind me. I spun so fast that my foot slipped on the gravel. Nothing, just the black road that curved away and stayed flat and endless. My breath stuck halfway in my chest and then something banged because a metal slam hit hard and sudden. I whirled around again and the back door of the van had shut by itself. I ran, not a calm jog and not a cautious step. I sprinted because something felt like it was right behind me. My hands fumbled with the lock and I barely got the door shut before I saw it. The van was lit from the inside and shadows were moving inside, like someone was pacing. I didn't even blink and I drove. I did not breathe until the main road swallowed me again under the safety of streetlights. Later, I checked every news site that I could think of and there was no accident and no abandoned van. Nothing. That shortcut is one I do not take anymore. The road was narrow and old, and it was the kind of road that does not show up on GPS until you're already halfway down it. There were just cornfields and endless wavering corn on both sides. The clock read 1:07 in the morning. That was when I saw it. A flicker, but not headlights. A beam that was thin and sharp like a flashlight that sliced sideways through the stalks. It looked like someone was walking through the field, and the beam bobbed slightly, and up and down. And it always moved with me. Not closer and not farther, just there. I slowed down because maybe they were lost. Then the light vanished. Complete darkness again. I gripped the wheel tighter and my skin prickled. Then the light came back, and now it was much, much closer. 15 feet and just inside the edge of the corn. It was not moving and not blinking. I hit the gas and I did not hesitate. My tires spat gravel and I peeled away. I thought it was over. But then I looked in my rearview mirror. One light, then two, then three. All along the road and flashlights popped on one after the other. They did not sway this time and they followed. Or they chased. I floored it and my foot was heavy and my breathing turned sharp. I did not look back again. The first building I saw was a diner, with lights that blazed and looked fluorescent and sacred. I pulled into the lot and I parked under the biggest bulb. I did not care that it buzzed because I just needed to see everything. No one came out of the corn. But I remember how fast those lights moved, and I remember how close they got. And I know that whatever that was, it was not just someone out for a walk. You never get that feeling that you are being watched even when nothing is in your mirrors. That was what started this. It was 3:40 in the morning and I was on the freeway after a double shift and I was almost hypnotized by the lane markers. Then I saw taillights ahead. 4 vehicles and they were in perfect formation. 2 sedans and 1 SUV and 1 pickup. All black. Not just the paint, and everything was black. No plates and no emblems. Just matte metal. Creepily right. I thought maybe it was a funeral escort or some car club. But then I got closer and I saw no lights inside. No silhouettes, just stillness. They moved like one creature, and when I slowed down, they slowed too. When I sped up, they matched exactly. I changed lanes and tried to be casual. One of them did too. No blinkers. I tapped the brakes, and the SUV behind me did the same, and did it instantly. No delay and no variation. I was being mirrored. Mile after mile, they followed. I could not see faces, and I could not tell if the windows were tinted or just dark. My throat dried up and my knuckles hurt from gripping the wheel. I needed to get away, so I exited onto a random ramp and rolled into a motel lot. They did not stop, and they did not turn. They just kept going, like I was never there, but I know they saw me. I sat in that lot for 20 minutes, and I kept the car running. When I finally got back on the road, they were gone, just vanished, but I can still feel that silence behind me, like it never really left.